Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very, very, very well. Do we love this because it is so comfortable and I'm loving it so much. By the way, in all of my recent videos, I'm wearing all my new outfits that I got whenever I was in New York. So a lot of people were commenting and being like, oh my god, anyone else loving Adam's fashion sense? Baby, they're new clothes. These aren't things I just wear on the daily, don't worry. Okay, we're going to talk about the Logan Paul lawsuit. It is crazy and it's actually involving his Prime drink, like his little energy drink thing. And I've tried Prime before and I have an opinion of it. It's like you're speaking to someone right now that like I don't love coffee. I love energy drinks. Like I know they're really bad for you. Like you shouldn't drink energy drinks. Like there's a lot of things, like here's my opinion of that, by the way. This is going to be like such a bad thing to say and like I shouldn't put this out there, but because like I'm not endorsing anything. But there are certain things that I do in my life that are not great for you and I'm like you only live once. And if that means I'm living for a shorter time, hopefully not. I'm having fun. Like there's certain things that are not good for you, but you still do. We're only human. I don't know. And so energy drinks is one of the main ones for me. I know that they're not good for you. I know you shouldn't be drinking them. I know blah, 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 blah. I actually don't know what's bad with them, but I really don't care. Like, I just enjoy energy drinks. I used to drink multiple Red Bulls a day. Like I loved Red Bull. Like nowadays, I don't drink Red Bull or energy drinks that much. If I like want one, I'll have one, but I never like how I used to. Like if I get an energy drink now, it's because I'm like, oh, I want to pick me up. Whereas specifically whenever I started doing like commentary videos, I used to drink Red Bulls like on the clock. Like it was bad. I was drinking like 2 or 3 or 4 a day, like really, really, really bad. But nowadays I could not do that. But yeah, I do love an energy drink every now and then. I think it's fun. And this Logan Paul drink is very similar to that. There's Prime Hydration and then there's Prime Energy. I have tried Prime Energy and I've tried Prime Hydration. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to dive into this lawsuit, but I think I said this online once, and if my mom's watching this right now, which I know she probably will be, hey mom, she's going to know what I'm talking about here. But when we were in LA last year, we went to one of the shops and bought a bunch of Prime. Because if you live in the UK or Ireland, specifically last year and the year before, Prime was such a big thing. Like the resale of Prime in the UK for some fucking reason was like going up in the hundreds. Shops were like upping the price of each can or each bottle so much because these young kids were so obsessed with Prime, we're so obsessed with Logan Paul that the parents were spending any amount of money. They ended up getting banned from schools. Like it was a big, big, big controversy, and like there would be people like parents like running to the shops at opening at 5 a.m. to get Prime. Like it was crazy. So Prime was a big thing specifically towards children. And I tried Prime for the first time in LA because I was never going to buy an upscale price or I was never going to queue to get a fucking bottle of it. So in LA, they had so much of it because obviously it's just like a standard drink out there. And the regular Prime Hydration, which is like the little bottle one, I enjoyed it. It was fine. Would I get it again? No, I really like Gatorade. I love Gatorade. It's one of my favorite drinks, specifically if like I just need like that kind of thing. But Prime Energy, I don't think I could ever drink in my entire life again. It made me so anxious beyond words. Like I can give you my personal experience, and my mom loved it. And my mom is like bad with energy drinks, but then again, she only took a couple sips and was like, "Oh, I would love to have that again." No, you wouldn't, honey. So I drank more or less. If this was the can, I drank like three-fourths of it. And I remember in the Uber home, I remember saying to my mom, I was like, I'm starting to feel really, really, really anxious. And I didn't think I was going to have this reaction to it because I'm very aware of how I feel in a Red Bull. I feel fine on a Red Bull. I feel fine in a Monster as well, which I don't like Monster though. It's not my favorite. My mom prefers Monster, which is really weird. But anyways, Monster is also the only energy drink they sell at Disneyland. And sometimes when I'm at Disneyland, like that's where I need an energy drink. Can they get a partnership or something with Red Bull? Because Monster does not cut it. I don't like the flavor of it. So anyways, I start getting really, really, really anxious, and then I start getting really, really panicky. And then whenever I'm at my hotel, I remember filming a YouTube video, and I throw up everywhere. Like, I got so sick on this. Like, I just felt so jittery, and I would never drink or really recommend Prime Energy. But let's get to this lawsuit. So firstly, this video was posted, and it has now been deleted, by the way, which is T, from this guy, Tommy, who was talking about the lawsuit. So this is a re-upload of it, but he made like 3 or 4 videos and Logan Paul responded to it and then he deleted them. But we are going to get to the actual lawsuit and the reason for it, but let's hear what Tommy has to say. before he deleted it.
I thought that Logan Paul and Forever Chemicals would be in the same sentence, but there's actually a class action lawsuit against Prime Energy and Prime Hydration, which are energy drinks and sports drinks that were made by a company called Prime Energy, owned by Logan Paul. And one of the allegations is that Prime Hydration has PFAS and PFOs, forever chemicals, in them. So this is an ongoing lawsuit, and our office was actually recently contacted by a young boy who has leukemia after drinking Prime Hydration, and PFOs and PFAs have been linked to specific types of cancers.
Okay, really interesting. I want to read this, and then we're going to get to Logan Paul's response, because he has done a video response. Logan Paul's sports drink company Prime is being sued for allegedly deceiving consumers about the ingredients in its energy drink. A New York woman is claiming that Prime Hydration LLC, distributed by Congo Brands, is using deceptive and misleading advertising regarding the caffeine content on its 12-ounce energy drink. The bottles advertise that there are 200 milligrams of caffeine per container, but based upon testing commissioned by plaintiffs' attorneys, the products actually contain between 215 to 225 milligrams of caffeine, according to the class action lawsuit filed in the Southern District of New York. Okay, wait. How much caffeine can you have in a day? I think it's 400 milligrams. How much caffeine is too much? You can have up to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. It appears to be safe for most adults. That's roughly the amount of caffeine in 4 cups of coffee, 10 cans of Coke, or 2 energy shot drinks. So then, how much caffeine is in Red Bull? Okay. Really? I think Red Bull is like one 250 ml can of Red Bull contains 80 milligrams of nicotine. What? Really? I thought Red Bull was like 200. I'm confused. I thought Red Bull had way more than that. Okay, this makes more sense. Wow, a small can is 70? 110. And then the big one is, I assume, from like 100 to 200. I don't know if I believe those numbers because I feel like I've read cans that have a lot more. Anyways, having 200 milligrams in a single drink of anything is quite crazy. Like, it is quite crazy. That goes for Red Bull, Monster, Prime, whatever. But then I think about that fucking drink in America from, what was it? Oh my god, the Panera, was it the Panera drink or something? I want to make a video on that. I know it's so, like, old news, but, like, the Panera drink that was, like, the hypercharged lemonade or something that, like, killed someone. What the fuck is going on? Anyways, they advertised 200, but apparently it has more. Filed in the Southern District of New York in early April. Fox Business reached out to Congo Brands for comment. The suit noted that the company's marketing campaign has already come under fire for targeting children and adolescents despite their high concentration of caffeine. Okay, I do believe that the brand caters towards children and young adults, and all it takes is looking at the demographic that buys these drinks to know that that is the case. Specifically in the UK, I don't know how big it is in the US, so please do let me know, but like a majority of like primary school kids are drinking it out here, which is terrifying. In my defense, I only had my first Red Bull whenever I was in secondary school. So I was like at least 11, or I was at least, I remember I had my first Red Bull in 2019, and I had my first Red Bull because me and my friend Kate were at the time, we're watching the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star, and Jeffree kept having that damn Red Bull with a straw, and I was like, that looks so good. My friend was like, it does, and I was like, should we walk and get a Red Bull and try it? And we walked like a fucking hour to the shop, got a Red Bull. That's actually dramatic. It was probably like 30 minutes. We got a Red Bull at like 11 p.m. and we drank it. And ever since that day, there's been something so lovely to me about an ice cold Red Bull. It has to be ice cold or Red Bull over ice. Something like that. I love it. It's not sponsored, by the way. I hate that you have to say that, but it isn't. Federal health officials have said that the caffeine can be a part of a healthy diet for most adults, but in too much of it can pose a danger. You know, one thing caffeine does, this is TMI. You know, if I ever need to go to the bathroom and like I'm like a little bit constipated, no shade, no shit, is that first couple sips of a Red Bull. Come on, can we be real? there's certain things like it's crazy. Like there are two things in this world that will, like, if I need to go to the bathroom and I'm constipated and I do it, give me 5 minutes and I'm on the toilet. Red Bull and a vape. Now, if you do both of those together, you have 30 seconds to get to the nearest fucking bathroom. But if you do them individually, they both, like, for some reason, speed up the process when we go into the bathroom, which actually can be quite nice whenever I really need to go. But anyway, I just don't do either of those things. Healthy adults can drink they can drink 400 milligrams of caffeine or 4 to 5 cups of coffee without dangerous negative effects. 4 to 5 cups of coffee sounds crazy. The FDA does not have a set level for children, but the American Academy of Pediatrics discourages the consumption of caffeine or other stimulants by children or adults, clearly. The lawsuit was filed less than a year ago after a woman in California accused the company of putting harmful chemicals, otherwise known as per and polyfluora, blah, 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 substances, PFAS, in its drink. Okay. Here's my thing. But, like, not to, like, shame. But if you're buying an energy drink in any capacity, you know that you really shouldn't be drinking it. Like, this is no health kick, like, energy boost. These are, like, sugary fucking energy drinks that are terrible for you. Like, come on now. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, PFAS are a group of chemicals used to make blah, 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 blah coatings and products that resist heat, oil, stains, grease, and water. So basically, God. Logan Paul, who co-founded the company in 2022 with social media influencer KSI, addressed claims that the drinks were containing forever chemicals. All right. So then it talks about his TikTok videos. So I want to pull that up and I want to hear it straight from his mouth. All right. Where is it? Here he is. Let's hear what Logan Paul has to say.
Company Prime for there being PFOs, which are forever chemicals, in the Prime hydration drink.
All right, let's talk about this. First off, anyone can sue anyone at any time. That does not make the lawsuit true, and in this case, it is not. There's claims that PFOS or forever chemicals come from plastic. So in this case, they're not talking about the actual drink, the liquid Prime. They're talking about the bottle that Prime is manufactured in. This ain't a rinky-dink operation. We use the top bottle manufacturers in the United States. All of your favorite beverage brands, Coke, Pepsi, Tropicana, Dr. Pepper, they use these companies. If the product is served in plastic, they make a bottle for them. Accordingly, we follow Title 21 for the Code of Regulations for PET and all other types of bottles. The product
He's coming out hot and fresh with all the information.
are manufactured by our company in a manner compliant with all pertinent and current good manufacturing practices by the United States Food and Drug Administration. All of our suppliers use GMP facilities. But let's say they're talking about the drink itself. Here's where their argument really falls apart. Pay attention.
But according to the testing done by one of the lawyers for the plaintiff,
Whoa! Hold it. You saw Goodman or Walter White, brother, because this little study that was conducted by a lawyer is absolute bullshit. They're claiming that Prime has 0.06 ppt, parts per trillion. But that's interesting because the EPA says that anything under 1.1 ppt cannot be deemed as reasonably accurate, meaning they don't have the right tools or resources to even prove what they're claiming. Are you following this? It means the detection limit is 66 times more than what they're claiming we have in our drink. And that's just the detection limit. Your own state will not even take action unless it's over 40 parts per trillion. So we don't even think this information is factual, but for the sake of this conversation, let's continue.
in one Prime hydration drink, they found 3 times the amount of PFOs that you should consume in drinking water in your life.
We have a very big, multi-million-dollar filter that filters the water from the state. Water you drink at home, water provided by the state before we make it into Prime.
He also looked at their phone thinking they got a text. Haha, you didn't, I did.
PFOs and PFAs is true. What is that saying about your state water? Then, according to their website, the Environmental Protection Agency's recommendation is using one of 3 tactics to remove as many PFOS and PFAS as possible. Activated carbon, ion exchange treatment, and reverse osmosis. Well, we do 2 out of the 3
Oh my god, I haven't heard the word osmosis since I was in science class. I just got a shiver over my body. God, I hated science.
water before it even becomes prime. We don't think these numbers are factual, and we're not the only one who caught this.
The level that was reportedly found was below the limit of detection, and if that even was the level, it is still 66 times lower than the recently established federal maximum contaminant level of 4 parts per trillion for PFOA.
For customer safety, we retain samples of every single batch of prime that has ever come off the production line. So if/when this plaintiff wants to come forward with a production number, we will retain samples from that batch and conduct our own independent study. We're putting out better for you products. Meanwhile, our competitors are on the cusp of getting banned in the United States. The #1 sports drink in the world just had SKUs banned in California for using dyes linked to cancer. That is a fact. It already happened. The difference with us is one person conducted a
Okay, can I say something? And again, wow, I feel like I'm being so controversial tonight. Dun 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 leads to cancer. Dun 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 leads to cancer. Do you realize, like, how fucked as a generation we are already? Like, or not even just like a generational thing. Well, yeah, my generation and the generation below me, we don't stand a chance. This has nothing to do with smoking, vaping, like, because all the other generations were doing, you know, smoking for fucking decades and stuff like that, which is awful for you. Drinking energy drinks, awful for you. Do you realize, like, it is without a doubt that my generation and the generation below, and also people beyond our age as well, there are going to be so, like, everything that we do, like, without even thinking now, in my opinion, leads to cancer. And it's terrifying. But that's why I have this attitude now where it's just kind of like, we can't even, like, control anything. Because how much of our food contains plastic? We don't fucking know. How much of our food is plastic packaging, which then can dissolve into food? How much of our food is terrible for us? Most of it. We are in an age where highly processed food is the easiest food to eat, is the cheapest food to eat, is the most convenient food to eat. And we are, my generation and the generation below, a generation built, like, that have grown up almost specifically eating processed foods. We don't know what air fryers are doing to our food. They haven't been available that long. We don't know what microwaves are doing to our food. Like, when you hear about don't stand in front of a microwave because you know you're going to get the radiation, that's in the food that you're going to fucking eat. Like, your phones, the radiation from that, we are fucked. Like, we are fucked as a generation. Like, and also, again, this doesn't apply to just me and the generation below me. It's terrifying, but it's a realistic conversation to have, and I have it with my friends all the fucking time because there's nothing we can do to fucking, like, there's nothing we can do to control it. You know, our parents, our grandparents, whatever, they're eating the processed foods, they're, you know, fucking microwaves, air fryers, whatever. Like, there is water, you know, you don't know what's in that. Like, you don't know if there's filtering. Like, life is exhausting. Like, sure, do things to avoid being unhealthy, but there is so much in our world that we are consuming or being around or something like that that has these risks with them. Like, this is not defending anyone or any fucking thing. But I think whenever I read these things now, I'm like, causes cancer. And you know why? Because I love Diet Coke. And I stopped drinking Red Bull like a year or two ago, as much as what I did. And I switched over to fucking Diet Coke to have, like, my sweet little drink. And then there's all these news articles, Diet Coke allegedly causes cancer. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I stopped drinking Red Bull because everyone was like, oh, it can cause cancer and it's so bad for you. Allegedly. And then I'm like, I switch over to Diet Coke and then fuck me. It's like, oh, Diet Coke causes cancer. And then I'm like, oh, fuck me. Let me go eat some food out of my air fryer or my microwave or whatever like that. We're fucked as a generation, as it is. So I think when I read these things now about, like, cancer causing things, obviously that's terrifying. Obviously that's scary. And I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I specifically, if I am going to live my life in a way of doing dun 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 dun, you won't live. You will not live. It's so fucking irritating and it's so scary and it's so whatever, but it's like, oh God, it's something I'm so fucking passionate about because we have no control of the food we eat. We have no, like, God, pisses me off so fucking much. Like, it really does.
random study and has provided zero evidence to substantiate any of their claims. Do y'all remember a while back when they said that the FDA was investigating Prime? It never happened. They never called us because we follow every single guideline and regulation. So Tommy the TikTok lawyer, 4 videos in, man, farm those views, get those likes, and get a haircut while you're at it. We'll accept an apology within the next 48 hours, otherwise you're going to be representing yourself in a miserable courtroom for lying about our brand.
Not only is there a lawsuit against...
Oi. Okay, so Tommy responded. Let's get to that.
So some of you know, and when I say some, I mean about 30 million. I did a video about a week ago talking about a class action lawsuit that was filed against Prime Hydration, which is partly owned by Logan Paul.
All these comments are bro's apologizing. Bro did not want that countersuit, so I assume he's apologizing here.
They allege that there are forever chemicals, PFOS and PFAS, in the Prime Hydration drink. And that video got like over 16 million views. And then several days later, I think yesterday, Logan Paul did a video responding to me that got, I think he's got like 13 million views at this point. So as I've been reflecting and looking at the onslaught of comments that I've gotten, that Logan's gotten, it honestly made me think that I think this might be a good lesson for all of us on social media, that sometimes it's okay to...
I'm so obsessed when people get in trouble for doing something and then they're like, this is a lesson for all of us. Hey, you're on your own here, buddy.
Pause. It's
Oh my god, someone said, this ain't no us, bro. This is on you. Literally.
okay to reevaluate things, and it's okay to check your position. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you wrong. And the truth of the matter is that Logan Paul is a young, gritty entrepreneur. And I respect him because I know, just like he knows, when you're young and you do too well too quick, what happens is you get targets on your back. And in all seriousness, I respect Logan Paul. I think he's a fierce defender of his product. And guess what? It's going to play out in court. And if he's right, then Prime should and will prevail. And I look forward to having more dialogue about this issue. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the he said, she said, and then it gets painted as a black and white issue.
Baby, you were the one that made the video, not us.
But the truth of the matter is that I was reporting on a lawsuit that has
Someone goes, good lesson for all of us. Nah.
been filed. I don't personally have any facts or any evidence that the lawsuit references. I was simply reporting on what the lawsuit alleged. But with that said, Logan, I'm sorry, brother. I am. But I ain't cutting my hair.
God, all the comments like, bro folded. All right, here's my thing. My personal opinion, I think Prime Energy, like, the hydration one is fine. The energy drinks suck. The flavors are nice, but I don't like the way they react to my body. So I will stick to, if I ever want an energy drink, a Red Bull. That's what I do. I'm not a fan of Prime Energy, and I don't want to try them again. Ever. Actually. It'll be interesting. I don't think this loss is going to go anywhere. I'm going to be honest. Like, you still have, like, Panera serving that fucking drink, so this isn't going to go anywhere. But it's definitely opening up an interesting conversation about what's in the products we consume. But again, we don't have any control over them because either way we're going to consume them, which is frustrating. We're not the ones in the factories, so we're not the board of directors that are making the decision. There's nothing we can do about it. We can choose not to consume Prime, but then what? You go and get a Red Bull? Same thing. Coke? Same thing. Like, fucking hell. Let me know your opinion. Let's talk about it down below. I appreciate you being here, and goodbye.